Hola, this is video lesson 68, 68. In this lesson, we're going to be learning section 5.8, 5.8 on page 193, 193, okay? This section, I have to be honest with you, is very confusing. I actually had to read it a few times to maybe for me not to understand it, but to figure out how to explain it to you, because there are a few concepts there that can be confusing. But again, a lot of Spanish, I know it can be very confusing for you guys. So the key is to keep practicing, to keep working on the exercises, and to try to understand the rules as much as possible. And you should be in good shape, okay, for the test on this unit. So let me see over here. I don't want to get ahead of the lesson. So before we jumped into section 5.8, go to page 198, 198, and work on exercise D for a couple minutes. On that one, you just have to complete the following table, okay? And those are the cognate spelling rules. That's from sections 2.1 and 2.2, so way back. Again, this is a review section, and it's important that you work on those so that you keep reviewing past concepts that we have learned but are still important to know and to remember. Excuse me. So go back to sections 2.1 and 2.2 if you need to review and if you don't remember how to complete that table there on exercise D, okay? So work on that for a couple minutes and then come back here to continue with this lesson, okay? Okay, as I told you, we're gonna be learning section 5.8. In this section, we're gonna be learning about direct objects and direct object pronouns. Okay, so let's review what are those. So a direct object, in Spanish, objeto directo, receives the action of a verb and it answers the questions whom or what after the verb. So for example, in English will be, it's the same as in English, right? Like in English will be, if you say, Susana eats apples, the direct object is apples because it answers the question, what is Susana eating, or what does Susana eat? Okay, so it answers the question what or whom. Okay, let's look at some examples in Spanish for direct objects, so that you guys become experts identifying them. Okay, Juan lava el carro. What does this mean? Try to practice your vocabulary words here. Juan lava el carro. Okay, that means Juan washes the car. So what is the direct object? So remember, it is what receives the action of the verb. So what is being washed, or what is Juan washing? The car. Okay, so car will be the direct object. Let's look at another example. María hornea la pizza. María hornea la pizza. That means María bakes the pizza. Okay, so what is María baking, or what does María bake? The pizza. So pizza is the direct object. Okay, it is important to first learn to recognize direct objects to understand what you have to do with this information, okay? So now, you also have on this section the direct object pronouns, okay? So this table here shows the direct object pronouns in Spanish. And remember that the word et does not have direct translation in Spanish when it is used as a subject, okay? Because everything has gender in Spanish. So that's why we don't really use it as a subject. However, when it is used as a direct object pronoun, it is translated to la or lo, depending on the gender of the noun replaced, okay? So here, me will be the translation of me, te of you, lo of him, it and usted, masculine. La will be for her, it and usted, feminine. Nos will be for us. Os will be for you in Spain. Los will be for them and ustedes for masculine or mixed groups, and las will be the translation for them and ustedes female groups. Okay, so let's look at some, okay, one more rule and then we're gonna look at some examples. So these direct object pronouns, so when I say direct object pronouns, I'm talking about me, te, lo, la, nos, os, los, and las, okay? Every time you hear me say direct object pronouns, those are the ones I'm referring to. So these direct object pronouns in Spanish, they take the place of the direct object, okay? So if we're talking about Susana, it's apples. It will these direct object pronouns will take the place of apples, which is the direct object, okay? The same as in English. However, the order in Spanish is a little bit different because you have to place that pronoun before the verb, okay? And you can see here the difference. In English, you will say, Susana eats the apples. And if you want to replace the direct object for its pronoun, you will say, Susana eats them. And you place that pronoun at the end after the verb, right? In Spanish, you place it before the verb, okay? Susana come manzanas, okay? So manzanas, right, will be plural, manzanas, and will be feminine because it ends in AS. So the correct direct object pronoun is las, okay? So you will switch manzanas for las, but you place it before the verb. Susana las come, okay? And you are talking about the apples. Susana las come, okay? I think this example is pretty clear here. So that this is what you have to understand to be able to work on the exercises. Know your direct object pronouns and that you place them before the verb and not after the verb as you do in English, okay? Now, one more rule. Well, maybe we have a couple more rules. Okay. The direct object pronoun also replaces any words modifying the direct object. For example, if you're given a color, the color of the apples, that your pronoun will replace the color and every adjective that is or word that is being used that modifies the direct object. However, if it doesn't modify the direct object, then you do not replace it. Let's look at an example. Susana come las manzanas rojas. So from this example, we already know that manzanas is the direct object. Rojas, which is another word, it is modifying the direct object because it's telling that the manzanas are red. So you replace las will replace manzana and rojas. Susana las come. Now, here you have Susana come las manzanas rojas rápidamente. Rápidamente is another word, but rápidamente does not modify the direct object manzana because it's not saying what or whom, it's just saying how, okay? Very fast, rápidamente, rapidly, very fast. Okay, so Susana las come, las manzanas rojas, right? But it doesn't replace rápidamente, you have to write it. It doesn't replace rápidamente, okay? It just replaces manzanas rojas. Okay, and then I think this is the last rule, maybe. When the direct object is a pronoun as opposed to a noun, the direct object pronoun must be used and placed before the verb. Okay, so these rules are better or easier to understand with examples. Okay, so here you have Emma ayuda a nosotros. Okay, so the direct object is a pronoun, nosotros. So it says here, you have to use the direct object pronoun before the verb. So Emma nos ayuda, I'm sorry. And you know that nos is used for us, right? So Emma nos ayuda, always before the verb. Another example, instead of saying Emma ayuda a él, you say Emma lo ayuda, okay? And again, to know what is nos and lo the right direct object pronoun, go to the table, and you're going to be able to see why. Okay? In a negation, and yes, this is the last rule. In a negation, place the direct object pronoun between the word no and the verb. Okay, important to review negation. So Elisa lee el libro. This means Eliza reads the book. So if you want to negate this, you say Eliza or Elisa no lee el libro. Okay, but actually, what is the answer? Eliza lee el libro. Okay, let me see. It doesn't show, it's not showing the answer, but if you want to practice what we're learning, Elisa lee el libro, so you will replace, what is the direct object here? What is Eliza reading? The book. So libro is a direct object. So if you want to replace this for a direct object pronoun, it'll be él. So you place the él before the verb. So it'll be Elisa lo lee. I'm sorry, it's lo lee. Elisa lo lee. Now, for this one in negation, it'll be Elisa no lo lee. Okay? Here, Elisa lee el libro. Elisa no lee el libro. What does this do mean? Oh, direct object, direct object, direct object. And then you place a direct object between no and le when you want to negate. Okay? Again, you're going to have this again. Once more, this is confusing. I understand. But that's why you have the exercises. So you can practice and go back and read the rule again and try to make sense of it and practice with the exercises. Okay? We're going to keep practicing this during class too, on Thursdays. So, and especially this section, because again, I can see that it can be very confusing. Okay, so that was the theory for section 5.8. We have here some review of that. Let's see, let's practice together. So this one is, Roberto abre la puerta. What am I saying here? Roberto opens the door. So what is the direct object in this sentence? What does Roberto open? The door. So puerta is the direct object. You can even write this down and place the do on top of puerta to know this is a direct object, puerta. So if we want to change it, we want to use the direct object pronoun is la puerta. So what would you have to do? Look at your table. Okay, that will be, la puerta is feminine and it's singular, it's one. So you use la. Roberto, and then you place it before the verb, la abre. Okay? Well, here is just direct object, but we're practicing everything. So if we wanted to replace that, as I said, it's Roberto la abre. Okay? So here, Kim saca los lentes. Kim saca los lentes. The question you need to ask to know what the direct object is ¿qué saca quién? ¿Qué saca quién? Los lentes, right? So that will be the direct object. Okay, now this is the table we just saw. And then now they want you to convert each direct object into a pronoun. So yo lavo el plato. What is this? I wash the dish or the plate. And el plato is the direct object, okay? So it's singular, masculine, so you are gonna use lo. So yo lo lavo, okay? The lo goes before the verb lavo, yo lo lavo. Yo lavo la cuchara verde. What do you wash, right? So la cuchara verde will be the direct object. So it's cuchara verde, it's cuchara is feminine and is singular. So you're gonna use la. Yo la lavo, and it replaces both cuchara and verde because verde I modifies the direct object. Yo la lavo. La maestra enseña a ellos. Okay, so this is the example of that rule that we learned, that when the direct object is a pronoun, you have to place a pronoun before the verb, okay? So la maestra For ellos, you're going to use, look at the table. For ellos, you're going to use, or for them, you're going to use los. So la maestra los enseña, ¿ok? La maestra los enseña. Fernando copia la tarea. What does Fernando copy? ¿Qué copia Fernando? La tarea. So la tarea is the direct object. It's feminine singular, so you have to, is la. So Fernando la copia. Well, they wanted to negate. When did they say that? I don't know. I guess here they wanted you to negate. Fernando no copia la tarea. ¿Ok? Fernando no la copia. Okay, so go to page 194 y 195, work on exercises A and B, and there you're gonna have extra practice on this section. So make sure you try your best there, and if you have any questions, like you don't understand how to do this or specific parts of these exercises, please bring them to class and we can do them together, okay? You are in charge, so you have to come to me and tell me that you need it, that you need help. Okay, so this is homework. I will place it on our homework list, okay? Okay, well, thank you.